Good morning. I am so pleased to be here today with Kathleen Troy, my dear friend and coach. And we are going to be talking a little bit about our work together in the book that is called The Great Pause, the blessings and wisdoms that we've learned during the course of COVID-19. So Kathleen Troy is of Second Spring Coaching. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live, your family, the work you do, all that good stuff?
Well, first, thank you for having me here today, Liz. I love what you're up to. And where do I live? I live in Danbury, Connecticut. And I'm from Michigan, and I lived in New York City, Westchester, then moved to Danbury. So it's been a fun meandering. I've been a life coach now since I went to school starting in 2016. Previous to that, for 30 plus years, I was a hair colorist. And that allowed me to really watch people transform. It wasn't so much about their hair, it was more about what made them tick that kept me showing up.
Yes.
And now I get all that juicy goodness with no distraction in coaching.
That's lovely. I love that.
Thank you.
How would you say that COVID-19 affected you and your family?
I think I'm going to call us the lucky ones. I think we're all really aware of how many people really were challenged and struggled by this in this moment. But for my family, it's been an extraordinary pause that we've embraced. So I didn't mention, I'm married and I'm married to the same guy all these years. And a friend said, "Why do you always call him your guy?" But it's just a guy. So my husband, it'll be 32 years, July 31st. I'm so proud of us.
Easy.
And we have two beautiful, amazing daughters, 26 and 30.
Mm-hmm.
So the challenge we've had, which is so minute compared to others, is my older daughter lives in Arizona, and it's just hitting me how long, I don't know when we'll see her.
Yeah.
And then my youngest has health issues. She's 27 actually now. She turned 27. And so we just are really mindful of her. So it's not that we're not concerned.
Mm-hmm.
We're just really grateful that they're both really safe with people around them who really love them and protect them. And this gave us, unlike a lot of people, a chance to be, like I say it jokingly, but I say I'm lucky that my cellmate is my soulmate. So I really got to get to know my husband again in a really intimate, beautiful way.
Mm.
And I'm an extra extrovert. Sorry to go on. I'm an extra extrovert. Like I often saw 5 different friends and worked 2 jobs and networked all the time leading up to this. And my husband's an introvert and the home was his place. So I was really concerned about how I would manage it and how he would manage having me in his space. But now I'm a homebody. I love being home.
And I know when I think of your chapter in the book, I think of a love story. I think this is our love story in the book. It's so...
Well, I know I mentioned it too in the book. So when we first got married, we were adventurers, spontaneous, nothing, very unstoppable. We didn't really care about security. So we quit our jobs and traveled through Pakistan for 3 months as our honeymoon. Because doesn't everyone do that?
Of course.
Like borrowed the family car and drove almost to China, like took a shower. And it was just amazing. Like we'd show up at villages where I was probably the first white person they'd ever seen. So it would start a parade through the village following our car. And so we had all this happen and had all that beautiful time getting to know each other and the family. And then we came back and pregnant, no job, no insurance, had to get busy providing for this new life. It's just so, like by our society standards, we were so irresponsible. So then we had to become really safe and secure, and life took us in different directions where we didn't see each other as much. We were tag teaming.
Mm.
So this period of time, this extraordinary pause, was another 3 months of being together, and it just, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. So beautiful to find out that he's still my guy. So
Thank you. I can't handle it.
and walking through the
I
woods.
make that connection, the 3 months and the 3 months,
Yeah.
the same, like, oh.
30 some years later, like so many threes, because threes are pretty powerful in the numerology. So yeah, and then so just walking on these trails, like he'd find these, it wasn't unlike that trip, but it was in Connecticut because you could create adventure anywhere. So him finding these different different parks that we'd never heard of, with waterfalls and trails that we've never explored, and getting lost and having to be buddies finding our way back out again. I just choose him again and again. And that's what I found out about marriage and all of this. I think what we don't understand is I had already said this, but I really own that it's a continuous choosing in. It's being new versions of yourself and checking in to find out whether those two versions still fit. And yeah, and so I've told you, but I'll just share it. Like I am reminded again that I'm married to Buddha. And that seems like, oh, wouldn't that be a wonderful, but it's a challenge to be married. Like really look at Buddha. So he's become more Buddha. So like, I think I want to go to the top of the mountain, but like, I'm still on the seeker mode of not there. And then I'm sometimes like, you're so maddening that, how do you know that? And you don't do any of the research. You're not on, you don't read the 4 agreements, but you're there.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Oh. And that, I mean, I hear that with what amazing advice for relationships, marriages, and all relationships, right? That continuous choosing in.
Yeah. And owning that you're choosing in. It's not just happening to you. I mean, anyone could get a divorce, and I'm not against that. There's no judgment in that. There's always a choice. Every year there's a choice. We could either continue this way or not continue this way. It's when you don't understand that you're choosing in by default, you're still making a choice. And I'm not saying that was easy. I'm not pretending that you've been doing it with me.
I've been with you.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So that's what I've been left with is, and by the way, so I'm back out in the world now, and people are reminiscing about how it's been. Like I turned my hair color more into my side hustle, and I feel like it's a real healing art right now. And people are saying, "What did you get? What has happened for you?" And I'm just awestruck. Like I feel like I'm at a deeper level of compassion for people's experiences because I got super healthy during this period. So I don't feel like, well, I won COVID. I got my website. It's none of that. Got my website, got hired. It's like, oh my gosh, I have such a propensity to be with people in what happened for them. Or I don't know if propensity is the word. I have such a deep level of that available, of compassion.
And I think as we have 24 authors in this collaboration that are sharing their learned wisdom, their experiences with this great pause. And it's interesting that it's all different lessons. I don't think there's one lesson that is what we were all supposed to learn, but I do feel like we are all getting what we needed during this time. So you're getting, I mean, I get that when I'm talking with my coaching clients, or when I'm talking with the people that are contributing to this book. And is that something that you're seeing too, that people are receiving different things or messages?
Very much so. That's been an interesting, people that I might have predicted from my expert pre-COVID, that I might have predicted would be really challenged right now, are saying that they've loved it.
Interesting.
People who were very thing oriented, like must go on the best vacation and must have best car and must have all the bright, shiny objects,
Yes.
just got to know their family again. So like, I'm so happy for people, mostly. There've been some challenges.
Yeah.
Like and for them too. Sometimes it was just learning to ask for what they need. And I don't think it's over. I mean, let's be honest. I think people are going to continue to find out. But I will say one thing I have noticed on Facebook and in my own life, whatever you are, it's magnified. So if you're fear-based, it's magnified. And that might be the lion that you're taming. If you're love-based, you're more love-based. So the people who tend to go to food pantries to donate food are actually more that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who think that the sky is falling are more that way. So I could be a sky is falling kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very love-based too. So both became magnified to where they're like, oh my gosh, and oh, I love, and, and so you have to learn to be with that, with that, what do I say, bankruptcy of it all. So like, I really got in touch with how much joy and love you could feel amidst the heartbreak. And just expanding my ability to be with all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wrote during this time, right? Not everyone chooses to do that. What advice do you have for people that are writing, that are authors? Do you have advice for them? Like, what bit of wisdom would you share?
What I would share is two things. Stop thinking you have to write it well and perfect. So I know I shared this with you that a friend of mine said, first draft, write like a drunk person, just blah, just put it all out there. But the other thing I would say is never diminish your experience. That's what I've learned in writing with you. If Anne Frank had decided, I'm just up in an attic, what is there to write about? We wouldn't have the most important document of that period of time for a 13-year-old. So everybody's story matters, no matter how insular you feel, no matter how isolated, your experience is meaningful, right for you.
That is dead on. And I know with our book, what I've encouraged everyone to do is to get out of our heads and thinking about like what it means for everyone and all this, and bring it way down into their personal experience and share what it means for them and what their experience was, because that's the goal. That's the gems, the wisdom that we can all gain from. Not like, oh, I think this, blah blah blah, but what did we live? Just like you said.
Just for even our own, when we're 80 and we look back at what it was for us, what if it's just for me? What if no one else is ever going to read anything that I've written? When I'm 80 and I'm not remember, I'll be like, wow.
I do that when I read things I wrote like 6 months ago.
Yes. What if it's just wow? And this is the other thing I would say to writers across the board about books. You could be really disempowered. Like, let's say in life, oh, there are too many coaches. So many coaches, what difference can I make? Oh, so many actors, why should I become an actor? Like, so many paintings, why should I be an artist? Like, imagine if we said that. And what about so many books, why should I write one? What if people had stopped writing back in 1930 because there were already enough books?
Right?
Like, you got to get out of that. Yeah. This is what disempowering thing I hear from, like, whenever someone says to me, oh, everyone's writing a book. Like, yeah, good.
Thank goodness.
You write one too.
Aww.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, taking the time with me today. What's the easiest way for people that want to learn more about you, get in touch with you, for them to reach out?
Well, that's another thing I did handle on I'm very proud of my website now. I used to say to people, I have a website, but don't look at it. So now I'm inviting people to go to secondspringcoaching.com. And I would love to have them book a discovery session with me just to find out what it is for them. I like to know what's going on. I'm just curious. I'm so curious. And to see if there's anything. I have some fun little tricks up my sleeves of things that might help motivate them
Yes.
to move forward that day. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to have anything else attached to it. Thank you.
Perfect.
And the other thing I would invite people to do in their own lives is just look at, everyone talks about gratitude. I know everyone talks about it, but it really is the only, there's really no other answer. I've tried everything else. I really have. So sometimes people will say to me, I can't think of anything to be grateful for. And I can really help them with that.
I know you have helped me so much keep going through all sorts of ridiculous life stuff. So I know how much your wisdom and your coaching, how helpful it is.
Thank you.
And just a light. So thank you for continuing to do it and to share it through all this time, right? You chose in on that too.
I was in. I did. Thank you for noticing. That's true. I did. I'll own that.
I'm very grateful for that.
I'm so grateful for you too. Thank you, Liz. Thanks for this time. And thank you for this amazing, I'm so excited to read this book. This is a prime example of, this book has not been written, and I can't wait to hear everybody's experience.
Right.
I can't wait to experience their experience. So thank you for creating this with us.
Thank you so much, Kathleen.
Thank you.